I'm going to do, take this puppy apart. Let's just start voiding the warranty right away. Don't waste any time with that. First thing you got to do, anytime you get something, is fix it till you break it. I got this thing apart, and one of the things I want to do is I want to take an internal USB header deal. I'm just using this as a scrap one. I'm going to use a nicer one. But see, I want to show you that once you get the leads out, you're going to have a black and a red and a white and a green. Okay. On USB, you've got red, which is power, black, which is ground. This will be 5 volts. That's the ground to it. And then you got your data leads. Okay. Now, on this adapter, God knows why they did this. Okay. But it's got red, yellow, white, black, and blue. So the first thing I did, okay, let me get this over here where you can see it, is I set up my tone generator on my multimeter, and I tested the outside, which is where the black lead is soldered, and I tested that against the blue lead. How do I know that the blue lead's there? Well, it's clear. It's just held in there with some hot glue. You can kind of see through it. I could see where the blue lead is on the internal pin. Okay, so the black and the blue are the same, so that doesn't even matter. So I'm assuming red and white are the same. Gotta hope, right? So it'll be, I'll just solder red to red, white to white, yellow to green, and the black to the blue and the black together. And that'll allow me to adapt this, okay, so that I can plug it into the motherboard. And that's the whole plan there. Okay, and then the second thing that I need to do with this deal, okay, is on the original case, N64 is out one place, PlayStation controller's out another place, Switch is out yet another place. None of that's going to work for what we're doing. Okay, the one part that's a kind of pain in the ass is this double pull, double throw slide, which I don't want to screw with if I don't have to. And it's a nice sturdy mount so that it'll withstand it. This also has holes, which would make it ideal for me to put a little angle there. And I could screw it to a plate. Notice that even without undoing the wiring, this is the beautiful thing here, is that these will all line up to the front. So with a little bit of fiddling around, I should be able to make a little plate that has a slot for a switch, cut out for the PlayStation, and cut out for the N64 ports. So that's the second plan. That's going to be a little fiddly. I'm going to start with some scrap aluminum, and I'm going to probably try and make a solid aluminum plate just to make everything that much easier. And then I'll put that on here after I make some very nice little cutouts using my aluminum plate as a template. I'll try and cut them out as neatly as I can so that everything is just right there. We'll see how that goes. That should be a fun little mod. So here's a piece of aluminum from the side panel window I made. Nice piece of black anodized aluminum. And as you can see, it fits in there nicely. And fits in there nicely. And what I'll do is on the back side, which has a couple scratches, that's where I'm going to rig all this up, drill all my holes, get this all mounted. And once it looks right, then that'll give me a perfect template for transferring it. And then I'll do it again, and I'll have two of these little controllers side by side, mounted on this aluminum plate, set right in there. Alright, got started on the plate. Thought I'd show you my handiwork here. Got two little slots. That's how I'm going to get started with this. And the idea is that this will mount behind it, like this. And as you can see, got my spacing the way I'd like it. Room for the switch to slide back and forth. And then the next step will be to cut out this and this. What I did was I cut this out and very, very carefully sanded the inside here using a roll of coarse paper. Just a little bit at a time until it's a friction fit, and that'll trap that real nice, almost flush with a little bit of hot glue behind it. That'll work good. So I gotta finish doing this one, and the switches are in the right place. And then the tricky part will be cutting out that profile. Hey guys, time for me to break out the scroll saw, cut out the PlayStation controller ports on this little device, this little bay device I'm making for my client Hoodcom over on overclock.net. And first I just drilled some holes after I made a scratch mark, okay, where I want it. And then I get the blade tight by ear, and then we rock on. The important part is to hold the piece down firmly and jump back up on you. Now leave a little bit. I want to be able to file it to shape. Leave a little bit of my scratch mark. Got the two PlayStation controller ports to friction fit nicely into the plate. Now I got to make tiny little angles. I'm going to join these together and put 3 screws through the face, and that'll secure the PCBs on there. I think it came out real nice. As you can see, I've got an aluminum plate inside that I've carefully cut and filed, and then cut the mesh on the outside, and I managed to preserve the factory finish. I'm amazing. See, I took some tiny angles, drilled and tapped. Now I've made the 2 PCBs one big unit. These will need to get leads soldered onto them, as will these. I'm going to put internal USB headers. So next up, after I get this the physical part of it all done, will be the soldering part. It's got slide switches to go between the 2 ports. It's got little LEDs under these ports already, and next up I'll be putting some extension leads to put little LEDs on the holes that you see above the N64 ports. I redid all the wiring with a little bit heavier gauge wiring that's color coded, and now I just need to extend the 2 LEDs and put on some internal USB. This baby will be a product, an invention, a glorious thing. Okay, I'm so proud of this thing. Since I spent all freaking day doing it. I'm going to take a video of it over here in the light where you can really get a good look at the amount of work this thing is. Had to cut all the holes exactly, not just through the aluminum backer plate, but also through the mesh, and not destroy the paint. Had to mount 4 little LEDs. Had to get the screws to go through the holes in the mesh and line up with the angle brackets in the back. And the whole PCB is tied together. And from what I can tell, everything works. It's really a simple device. There's not much to it. But it's a lot to pack into the face of a DVD blink-off. So, I'm testing the N64 PlayStation bay device, the little ports on there and the little switches. Everything seems to work just fine as far as the electrical part of it goes. Okay. Indicating which ones are which, and show you the beautiful thing here. As you see, the entire unit has been potted. I'll take it down here so you can get a good look at it. I did all the cabling over in color-coded cabling. It's a little heavier, the wire's a little heavier, ribbon cables, and everything has been potted with Super Duty hot glue, special industrial type hot glue, and that's it. It's ready to pop back in. It's a beautiful thing. Strain relief for the USB, and I was just testing it here on the shop rig. Seems to be working just fine. I don't have any controllers to plug into it, so that's as far as I'm going to get. But I think it's pretty darn cool.